Well, this particular group in Brazil gave to him a Tucumm ring made from the Tucumm plant or tree. It's like a palm tree. And he gave one to me, and I'm holding it in my hand. I've been wearing it on my finger. And he said, people who want to remember those who are in plight and in difficulty, and remember that you might be a person who has the ability to make a difference there, I'd like you to have this ring. So I said, well, thank you. That's very kind of you. I appreciate these things. He said they're very important to this tribe in Brazil, and I'm trying to find, to the Taparape tribe in Brazil. The Taparape tribe have a story that what happened back in the early 1900s was that a Catholic bishop. If you don't know the structure in Catholicism, bishops are a big deal. Bishops, cardinals, pope, boom, that's it. So these are big shots, right? So a Catholic bishop came to the Taparape people and said, our people have done very bad things to your people, and we want that to be different now. We want to see a change in that. We don't want to live that way anymore. We colonized your people, we Christianized your people, we kidnapped your people, we took your people's lands. If we could do anything about it, we'd like to, and we want to start over now. And the bishop said to the Taparape people, I would like to give to you as a sign of my commitment that you and I are peers in this world, to the chief of this Taparape people. He took off his bishop ring.
Whoa.
Gold bishop's ring, which I think is probably given to him by a cardinal or by the Pope.
Yeah.
And gave it to the chief the chief of the Taparape people, to say to them, this is a down payment. It's not meant to repay the way that we have strip mined your lives.
Yeah.
But this is a down payment that we want to live differently in the future. And the Taparape people gave to him one of these wooden rings.
Even trade.
And said, absolutely. And retail value of $5.
And said this, a little bit more than that, because now they sell them in gift shops. This is the most significant thing we have. The work that we put into this. This is what a loved one gives to another when they're grieving. This is what a man gives to a woman when he says to her, I want my life to be blended with your life. This is the most significant status ring that we have, and here's how we craft it. And that bishop took the ring and wore it as his bishop ring for the rest of his bishopric.
Wow.
Now, I'm not big into bishops.
Yeah.
I think pawns take bishops all the time, so they're not all that impressive to me. But in that Catholic world, for a bishop to say to a tribesman, to say to a tribes leader,
yeah,
we owe you a little something, and we need to make it right, and this is a down payment. And then for the tribes leader to say, and we also want to give you that thing that to us is the most valuable, right on. From Doug Pagitt Radio.
Right on, Doug.
See, that's the kind of story. That's all of a sudden the right on's turning really creepy and sort of dark in this very fascinating way. That kind of thing, right? Someone in power says to someone to whom they know that their role has disempowered,
yeah,
I want to make it right. And then this ring that now truly they sell them in shops within Catholic communities around there, because all the Catholic fathers in Brazil wear these rings. Because not only is that his job as the bishop, it's the job of all of those to say we want to make this right. And I thought for my friend Chris in Nebraska to say, here, I would like for you to have one of these rings, not because I have anything to do with the Taparape people. I'm not going to go to Brazil. It's not part of my story.
You can barely pronounce their name.
I'm making it up right now. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce it. I mean, I'm looking at the words, but I don't know how to pronounce those words. I can barely speak English. But instead, to say, who are your people? Mm-hmm. Who are the people that you have disempowered, and you should wear a ring to say to them you'd want. So I'm not using it as look what a good guy I am. This is what I appreciate about Chris's call to give me this ring, and he's really getting the right on along with the bishop and the chieftain. Is you got to figure out who your people are. This is a reminder. This is like a rubber band one wears around the wrist. Who are the people that you are the bishop of? Who are the people that you're on that side of the equation? If that's not only the bishop's story and the Taparape people's story, but it's also now somehow your story, how do you become that person? And I thought that gets a right on. Not only because of the good story that's being told, but the way that it pokes you, that it prompts you to have to ask that question about the situation that you find yourself in.
Well, you really wish more people would get to that place that the bishop or the church did at that time, to realize, okay, we have done you wrong and we need to make that right.
Yeah.
That whatever led to that event happening.
Yeah. And what's great about it is the bishop, it wasn't like the bishop was like, 100 years ago I was here doing this stuff.
Right,
hey, sorry about that. He recognized that he is the recipient of the power that came from the people who did those things. So it wasn't just his own personal culpability. He was then also speaking in this larger system to say, as someone who has power in the system, and all of us have our own systems.
Sure.
All of us have our own power. Like, and some of us, our power is clear and pointed out. But I think to your point, yeah, that's what's powerful about it, is when somebody who themselves is culpable or are part of a system that's culpable to say, I'm going to figure out where that is and I want to make it right. So a little wooden ring. Pretty cool.
So you're just asking people to take ownership of their behaviors, correct?
Well, I was just kind of telling the story about a wooden ring.
Right on, Doug.
Right on, Doug. Love it. Hey, whatever situation you find yourself in, when you're doing that thing that you ought to do, when you're rebalancing those powers, when you're saying, how is it that I could make this right? May your strength in that, may your faith in that, may your hope in that, may your love that comes out of that create strength, faith, hope, and love for all the rest of us. So, from Doug Pagitt Radio, we'll talk with you again next week and do those things in this world that are right on.